Harris. In fact, my first campaign promise is that when you elect me president of this union, I still won't be Theo Harris. I like him. He's a personable man. He gives a good speech. In fact, I think you can say he paints the lipstick on the proverbial pig, but I won't do that. I'm pleased and humbled at the trust you've put in me this far, but I need a wider forum for what we need to do to help teachers in Palm Beach County, because they currently have no voice. And what do we need to do? We need to inform the press, the public, and the parents of Palm Beach County. They need to know that their teachers have been failed both by this union and by this school district in this decade. As Dave Sercone said, that whole go-along to get-along thing that this union's been doing, that hasn't worked, it isn't working, and it's not going to work. In fact, I promise that if you elect me, it won't work, because that won't be the policies of this union. Now, Jane Kirkland has a lot of problems with the election process that's going on right now, but she endorses my candidacy. Dave Sercone endorses my candidacy. And in fact, your school police endorse my candidacy. And beyond that, the 3,600 members of the Police Benevolent Association of Palm Beach County, 18 different departments in all, they endorse my candidacy. Why? Because they know and I know that unions are going to have to stick together. We're going to need some tough representation if we're going to get through the hard times that are coming up. Perhaps Mr. Harris didn't think of that. Theo Harris has still failed to mention that if you're not a new teacher, you made less money in 2007 than you made in 2006. Look at your W-2s. And if you're a veteran teacher, you stand to make less money in 2008 than you made in 2006. Well, remember how I called that a slap in the face? They're preparing to give you another slap in the face, and one after that, and Mr. Harris has failed to mention that. I talked to you about the huge assault on middle-class wages in this country, how the average person who lost a job to downsizing or outsourcing in the last decade and took another job lost an average of 17% in income. Well, Art Johnson is now talking pay cuts to teachers in Palm Beach County. Theo Harris perhaps failed to mention that he had the opportunity to respond to that in the newspapers, and he didn't. So now you don't even have to wait for downsizing or outsourcing in order to take a pay cut. Your union and your county will bring it right to your door. Perhaps Mr. Harris also forgot to mention that membership in the union is moribund at best. At a meeting in the union hall, I was told that it's your fault because you're ignorant to the issues. And as I was being told that, a number of us could look over at the side of the room, and we could see 10 days after the last election, we could see those famous little white bags that go out to all the schools. 10% of them with election materials for every member of the union were still sitting on the floor in the union hall, and my union seems to think that's okay. The union also seems to think it's okay that I can't use the district email to talk to you. I was told if you congratulate me, I am not allowed to respond and say thank you on district email. I'm not allowed to use the pony. What am I supposed to do? Get a couple of paper cups with a wax string in between them in order to be able to talk to you? Maybe I should start a bonfire and get a wet blanket, give you smoke signals. Or maybe I could get in the tower of the Old North Church with a couple of lanterns. Theo Harris also forgot to mention that 60% of you voted against him in the last election. He may have also forgotten to mention that Palm Beach used to have the highest paid teachers in the state. Now they're not even in the top 10 for teacher pay. But we can all sleep easier knowing at least we have the highest paid superintendent in the state. And speaking of that pig metaphor, isn't the superintendent pretty deep into the public trough just now? Theo Harris fails to mention that publicly as well. In fact, Theo Harris fails to mention almost anything publicly, anytime, anywhere. We all know how well that's turned out. The press, the public, and the parents don't even know how hard teachers have already been bashed in the pocketbook, and there's more bashing coming up. Mr. Harris has failed to mention that in any public forum of which I'm aware. Mr. Harris has failed to mention that he bars the press from the representative assemblies. He forbids union employees and board members from talking to the media. What's he hiding? That whole ostrich mentality thing that if you don't talk about things, just stick your head in the sand, that the problems are going to go away, that's not going to work anymore. The school district needs a little tough love just now, and I need you to put me in a position to give it to him. Art Johnson's face is not a pretty face. We all know that. But I promise that if you elect me president of your union, I'll get in Art Johnson's face. Theo Harris got 40% of the vote in the last election. Not Theo Harris got 60%. And I am not Theo Harris. I'm Robert Dow, and I need you to spread the word that things are going to change. But they will not change unless you go to your schools, you talk to the people at the schools, you have them look at the YouTube, you have them read the information, and you do something to make things change. I'm not Theo Harris. I'm still not Theo Harris. I'm Robert Dow. Elect me, and we can make a difference. Thank you.